Alright, it's Tuesday, 15th, day after Valentine's Day. Got a new bike, old road bike, got two actually. Got two road bikes on Saturday, which worked a treat because I needed something because I got a flat. But I'll be back to my normal. I'll switch between them. But I don't know when this is going up because I accidentally shot too much content the last two times I was out. So this might go up later in the week. It all depends. I accidentally, since I had so much, I mixed them up. It doesn't really matter, but one of them got put out sooner than I meant because I got the days mixed up. I got the days mixed up because when I uploaded them from the GoPro, I have a folder on my laptop that just has every day of the week, and I'll put the clips for each day on the corresponding day folder, and if I need to, I'll add an additional, like if I took a video in the morning, I did another one later on, so I don't get confused. So I put whatever day in the wrong slot, so it threw me off when I went to edit yesterday because I had forgotten while I was already in the middle of editing. So since I was editing, I just dealt with it. So one of them's gonna be really long, just to get it over with, and I'll see about the one after it. Since both days of recording, I went over 30 minutes. Usually, I try to stay under 30 minutes, like 20 to 30 while I record. Sometimes I space out, and that's what happened on both those rides. And the video I'm editing right now is like 53 minutes, and that was after I already put one video together. I think yesterday's upload, either yesterday's upload or the upload before. It was like 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, so I remember now. I filled up my entire SD card on accident, which is like an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. Hour and 4 minutes. That's, we'll see. Doesn't really matter, but I do like to upload them in the correct order when I can. That's why I have them in the no date, just the day. So that way it's easy, especially because I hadn't really recorded while my sister's dog was over, so I thought it would be easy once I did it again, but of course not. But so I got this bike and another road bike for free on Saturday, which worked out nicely because on Thursday or Friday I was trying to get a sale on Macari, and this dude wanted to buy this new wheel I have up that has been sitting, but he wanted it for his bike trainer, and he wanted everything, but he confused me at first because he just said tire, but he didn't mention tube. So I was like, oh yeah, I can throw a tire in, no worries. Then I went on like a long reply after a while, and you're like, oh, I think you misunderstood me. And he worded it was either him or his phone. It makes sense now, because I never mentioned having it. The only tube I had was the one from my other bike, so I wasn't going to originally depart with it, and I just gave in once I got the Diamondback working back together. So I said I'll check it out, and I should have known what he meant, because his reply before he went into detail, he said, I just want a tire that holds air, which I should have just asked, yeah, what do you mean by that? But I'm dumb, and I didn't. So somehow putting my tube and a smaller wheel that it's sized for, and then putting it back in to the correct wheel, somewhere on the in-between something happened, and right after that, like 15 seconds after I took out the nozzle for the sorry, right after I took out the pump nozzle, I hear a sound I didn't want to hear. So I just told him I couldn't do it because I couldn't do it anymore. He was being a little too hard to deal with. He was nice about it, but at the same time, he could have just taken the wheel with the tire, and if I could have found a tire liner, and then he would have just had to buy a tube before it came. But since he wasn't doing it for outdoor riding, but for whatever reason, he really was determined, which is fine, I understand, but could have just went to the bike shop or ordered it from Amazon and have it arrive, already have it, before it came, since he was wanting it for his indoor riding. Or you could just swap the tube over, for whatever reason, he really wanted to pay 50 bucks. No shipping, 50 bucks with it, free shipping would seem fine, since I mentioned the other day the wheel was free because the bike shop canceled the order and refunded me the money. We're back. Accidentally hit the record button alone when I went to power on the GoPro. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna have to fiddle with it. Got the bike parts. Used some pair of pedals and a seat post. He threw the seat post in randomly, asked if I could use it, if he could find it, and I said surely, my friend. Well, I didn't say my friend since I don't know him. I was forgetting. It might be a quick arrival. I gave myself a few minutes. Ended up being 10 minutes early. But I strolled up. I was like a minute or two away. I walked up the hill because I forgot. I don't really go on the street he lives on. I've only done it a couple times, if more than once. So I forgot. It was a bit of an incline, so I walked up because I'm lazy and I wasn't ready in the right. I wasn't in the correct gear. So since I didn't want to shift gears suddenly, since I had to reach all the way down, I took the lazy route. Plus, it gave me a little buffer as well. Added like 2 minutes. Added a minute or two as well, in case he hadn't set them out yet. He said 3, but yeah, you don't always know. Feels weird being on a road bike again. Something happened. Explaining himself to the cops. Might have a guy come over tonight after he gets off work in San Francisco. Check out a bike. Not sure though. I don't know you. That was weird. We'll go this way. Even though I was just here. Lol. Not getting my hopes up too much because I got flaked on twice last week by 2 different people about the same bike, and then the second person asked about another bike and he flaked, so we'll see. That's what I was trying to do. I had made the bulk lot, hoping I could get everything sold to the same person, or maybe multiple sold, but hasn't had one person reach out, but he didn't seem interested. Once I gave him pictures for the 5 bikes he asked about, I tossed in another one because it was a little better. The 5th one that I swapped out was just a mongoose. So he couldn't tell from the picture, but I knew even before I looked at the picture which ones he was talking about, because the location he asked about them, I had put them aside because they're a little better. They're 4 name brand mountain bikes plus the mongoose. I'm not sure why I put that there, maybe because it's smaller. So I had another mountain bike, I'm not sure the brand. Then it's gonna go with this, get back to me, but he didn't want weights coming out from Oakland, so I gladly said sure. Just had some problems sending the new pictures when I responded to his response, so that sucked. I'm gonna go home, swap this seat, and see how I feel about going out again. It's a nice day. I have till, who knows. Since you said between 6:30 and 7, I don't know, because San Francisco traffic is a bother. So we'll see. Might flake out. Lucked out with this bike because it's my size or close enough. I just had to use the seat post and seat from the Trek I had gotten a few weeks ago because the other ones were all too thin or too thick, and since it's a similar size, I thought, well, even though it's a mountain bike of its time, I figured it might be the most likely candidate. And what do you know, after trial and error, when the thought finally came to me, it worked. So picking that bike up just to have a free seat post, totally worth it. Now I don't know what I want to do with it. I was originally going to turn it into a road bike, like a hybrid leaning close to road bike, but now I have a road bike. I have two road bikes. So we'll see. I will see. Maybe I'll just turn to a hybrid and kind of have it in between. The other bike came with Townie bars, which I was excited about until I thought about it. I took them off and I looked at them, like, wait a second, I might just have them both going simultaneously and ride, even though that one's like 2 or 3 sizes smaller than this one. I might, because I was gonna swap the bars, but I forgot, since I'm not used to handlebars with hoods, I have to, since it has the dual, since it has 2 brake levers for both brakes, more than I'm used to. I'm used to just one single brake lever. Any other time I've had a road bike or a single speed or a fixed with drops. So now, I don't know. I like that it has hoods, since I mention it all the time. My back can be tricky. It's nice to have several options. I was excited about the other bars because of my back, so we'll see. Hopefully the seat I try to swap over will fit. Didn't want to fuss with it. Couldn't get the rails in to the bottom part of the seat that goes onto the seat post. So we'll see. I might just have to fiddle with it. I had to fiddle with it to get the original seat back on. So since the saddle that it came with fussed a bit, I figured maybe I could do the same thing. It's just a little sleek and more slender since it's a newer road bike or mountain bike seat than this seat. So that's the difference. So we'll see. I'm almost home, obviously. So we'll see. This guy out here in the silly gear. What's he doing? He looks like me, but sillier. Out here on the uphill, gearing when he's on the straightaway. How did that happen? Nothing. He probably just left it like that when he got home. Or maybe he only has a few gears. Oh, and yes, I has a single speed with a full cog. I think one of my parents just left. Looks like their car, but maybe not be. Maybe not. I take that back. Alright. Guess I was wrong. I think it's a Honda, not a Prius. Because FedEx was being weird and I hadn't updated yet. And then like the same day, the next day, or 2 days after, they refunded me. It came, I hit them up, said, hey, it came. If you want, I could pay for it again once the refund hits my account after it's done processing, since I didn't really have any extra money. So I never got a response back, and it's just been sitting. So I figured this dude asked me if I had any front wheels in that size, and initially I said no. And 5 minutes later I thought about it. Like, actually, I do. I just forgot about it because it wasn't listed. They responded to my listing about wheels. So since it was night and I was kind of out of it, I said no, I'll have to look because I'm not sure. And then I was like, well, I do have an unused one. And I sent him pictures. And I just used those pictures to make a listing because he never got back to me. So even though he never got back to me, it was alright because instead of waiting on him, I waited like an hour or until the next morning. And I just made the listing sometime after he asked me. Since he was local, but not local, like an hour or so, something like that. I'm not sure. So, yeah, since he wasn't super local, and it was like 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on traffic and all that, I figured I'd use the pictures I sent him, since I didn't really have to put that much info, because it was never used. It was in the shrink wrap, but it got messed up from sitting, kind of deteriorated, or maybe some rats or mice got to it, who knows. But yeah, it hadn't been used ever. Got here pretty quick. Gonna pick up some bike parts. Just waiting for the guy. He hit me up on Sunday. Then when didn't see my message, my reply until later on. Then he finally was around. And we actually got to set it in time because I said I can come whenever, since I work from home, so it's not really an issue. Because he asked me what worked best for me, and it didn't seem to work best for him. Or maybe he watched the Super Bowl, because he hit me up on Sunday morning, so maybe I'm preoccupied. It's up here at 3 o'clock and it's like 2:50. Exactly on the money. 10 minutes early. I did some dilly-dallying too. I tried to change the seat since he doesn't live so far, but because it's from the trek I got 2 weeks ago, since I had been sitting outside that dude's house, part of the seat's gone, the crotch part, so I was trying to not get a hole in my pants again, but I was having too many problems, so I just decided to wait till I went home. Alright, I'll be back later. Like, share, subscribe, in case I don't make another part of this video, or whatever. Alright, bye. Yeah, definitely not. Because it's right there. Alright. Maybe I'll be back later. Alright, bye.